Hello everyone, my name is Gabby, and something crazy is about to happen in 10 minutes. I'm about to interview Kendall Schmidt from Big Time Rush. So I thought I would make this video into a little bit of story time and a promotion for the story I'm gonna be doing on the Big Time Rush reunion for my school newspaper. So stay tuned, because it is about to be a wild ride. So I needed to stand up because there's just no way I can tell this story sitting down. We should backtrack a little bit and talk about how the hell we got to this point. The last time I filmed a video was mid-July. At that point, I had just gotten tickets for the Big Time Rush concert. I got one single ticket because Ticketmaster said the odds were in my favor. It felt like winning a virtual Hunger Games. It was wild, like the absolute nightmare of trying to get tickets because they sold out so quickly. And being able to get one and getting it at a decent price in comparison to what the going rate is for seats around the area where my ticket is. Like a week after that, VIP went on sale, and I was terrified that I wasn't gonna get tickets because I saw the VIP go on sale like 15 minutes after it went on sale, and at that point it was already sold out, and I was like, damn it, like I was so upset. I was like, because I have to get VIP. Like I didn't think there was gonna be a VIP option because of COVID, but then they announced it a week later, and I was like, well, obviously. I just kept refreshing the page, and I was like, I refuse to give up, I refuse to quit, and I refreshed the page, and there was another batch of VIP tickets on sale, and I immediately went and bought one, naturally. I had that then in the bag, and I was like, well, I'm getting to meet them again, and I'm getting to recreate this picture from 2013, and I'll look a lot better. No headband, absolutely not to the headband, no. The side-by-side will be immaculate, it'll be great. I was thrilled about that, and several weeks go by, silence, and then we get to the beginning of August. I moved into the dorm, I'm doing RA training, and I'm seeing Carlos posting on his Instagram story, and the guys are getting back together and recording music in the studio together for the first time. And so they do an Instagram live in celebration, and we're finding out like Big Time Rush is in control of their music for the first time, and it just feels a very, very exciting time to be a Big Time Rush fan. And around that same time, merch goes on sale, so naturally I go and buy merch. I'm still patiently waiting for it, very, very excited to get my hands on it whenever I do. Just waiting for the hoodie to ship, and then both of my orders, I got the tan t-shirt and then the black hoodie. Hopefully both of those will ship very soon. I would like them by the December date. Keeping the fingers crossed, but I am willing to be patient and wait. But merch comes. And then pretty much since then, it's been dismally quiet. But what I was doing behind the scenes is starting work for my school's newspaper. The Columbia Chronicle is an award-winning student journalism paper. It's award-winning student newspaper. And I got hired, I think in the beginning of July. So like a few weeks before the Big Time Rush reunion was even announced, I got hired as a copy editor. But as a copy editor, I can still pitch stories. And so I very much was on the board of being like, well, the Big Time Rush concert is happening a mile away from our campus. So many people my age listened to Big Time Rush back in the day. And how quickly the reunion sold out, there is an appeal here for this story. It is absolutely worthy of pitching to this newspaper. And so I did that, kind of quietly being like, this is something I would like to do. And was just sort of seeing ultimately, like I was going to, like I brought it up to my editors-in-chiefs and like talked about it a little bit as being like something I would like to do, but I didn't want to officially pitch it until I knew that there was solid, verifiable evidence that like this could happen. And so I spent several weeks emailing people back and forth, well, not really back and forth because I got no responses, but emailing management, just like anyone I could find, and being like, can I get a press pass for this concert? Are you giving out press passes? Like, what can I do? And pitching myself being like, I'm a student journalist, I grew up listening to Big Time Rush, there is an appeal for this story, so please, 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 I am begging on my hands and knees, please. And then I finally got fed up to the point with getting no responses, because I am nothing if not adamant when it comes to something that I want to pursue, like goals, dreams. Like if I get the opportunity to pursue it and I have the resources at my fingertips to make it happen, it will happen, period. Like I refuse to let an opportunity pass me by that I can take part in if I just act. I finally was like, I gotta go to the man himself, and decided to reach out to Kendall on Cameo, and was willing to pay the $150 that it costs, because I'm working 3 jobs on campus, blood, sweat, and tears for 15 weeks to get to enjoy this concert. So I was like, I can use part of my paycheck for this because it will be worth every penny and dollar that I pay. And so I sent him a Cameo and was like, hey, I've been a Big Time Rush fan for a while, like 12 years, and I'm also a student journalist and would love to sit down with you for an interview to talk about the reunion, get to promote you. What do you say? That whole week that like I sent out the Cameo and was waiting for a response back was the most stressful week of my life. I was so scared. and just overwhelmed. There were so many things going on, and I was just like, am I gonna get a response? Like, what is gonna happen? And was genuinely just so, like, I was just like, this feels like the final straw, and I feel like if I don't get a response or if nothing happens, then I feel like I have to give up on this pursuit. I put in the cameo on a Tuesday night while I was in a staff meeting for the Chronicle. I got a response back Monday night while I was down at the resident service desk working night duty. And so I just see a text on my phone that says, like, your cameo from Kendall Schmidt has arrived. And I was immediately like, excuse me? And I'm at the desk, so there's other residents that are around me, and I can't have like a full-on like mental breakdown over this. I can't geek out over it because that would be bad. That would be embarrassing. And I'm working on keeping my cool and keeping my composure because I have to, like, I'm gonna be doing this stuff professionally. I have to keep my shit together. I just like composed myself, pressed play on the video, and I'm keeping the video for me. Like, I would like to keep that private, but he agreed and was like, message me on Instagram. And I was like, okay, cool. But he has to see the message on Instagram, and I imagine he gets so many DMs. I was like, there's, you know, no way in hell he's gonna see, you know, like, I was like, that's another hurdle to cross, you know? I was like, I don't know, like, this is still up in the air. And so I messaged him on Instagram, like, immediately afterwards, to the point where it was probably embarrassing, and was like, hey, saw your cameo, meant the world to me. If you would be interested in doing an interview, my editors-in-chief, like, editors are very, very excited about it, and would love to make this happen. So then next day is Tuesday, and then I pitch it to my editor-in-chief, and I'm like, hey, I think I'm this close to getting an interview with Kendall Schmidt from Big Time Rush. And the vibe change in that Zoom call of being like, oh shit, like, you know, she actually made it happen, because I think there was probably a lot of people that were like, this probably isn't gonna, you know, there's no way, and then like, I did it, and they were like, what? And I was feeling that way too a little bit. And so then I pitched it, and they were like, cool, do it. And so I put the pitch in on our server that we use to like write all of our stories and put it and edit them together and toss them back and forth, and then reached out to Kendall and was like, pitched it to my editors-in-chief, to the EICs, and they're excited about it. And he was like, cool, what works? And I was like, we mainly do Zoom interviews because we want to have recordings for our copy editors, which is like, you know, myself, to listen back to fact check. And he was like, cool, great, you know, what time, what date? And I was like, how about Thursday, October 28th, and at 3:30 p.m. Central Time, 1:30 p.m. Pacific Time. And he was like, cool, sounds good. And I just was like, every time I got another response, I was like, what the fuck? Like, I was just like, every part of me was like, there's no way. And even like today, I was like, you know, he could bail on me. Like, he's a busy man. He's got a lot of stuff going on. And I was just preparing myself for the worst because I didn't want to get super excited and then get let down. I messaged him again like today, this afternoon, and was like, hey, just want to make sure you're still available, still down. And he was like, yeah, still here. And I was like, fuck, okay, cool, all right. And then we get to 3:30 and I just see him appear in the waiting room, and I have to take like 30 seconds to be like, it's happening. And then like, I was terrified starting off the interview. Like, I was so nervous. Like, I was just petrified because I was like, I have to do this interview and my brain has to make words come out of my mouth. And I just wasn't sure if I was gonna be able to do that in full honesty, because this is someone I've been listening to since I was 9 years old, and now I'm gonna be 21 and I'm sitting down and interviewing them professionally for my job, and it's, what? Like, if you had went to me and you had told me at 9 years old when I first started watching Big Time Rush, and I would say like was into Big Time Rush but wasn't fully in that like fan stage yet because I was just starting to watch it and listen to the music, like if you had told me like, hey, at 9 years old, and pulled me aside and been like, hey, so you're gonna start watching Big Time Rush, you're gonna start to become really passionate about it, but the unfortunate thing is everyone else around you is not gonna be into it. It's not gonna be the new cool hip thing. The new cool hip thing is gonna be One Direction. People are gonna be way more into that. So you're gonna get picked on for being a Big Time Rush fan. You're gonna get bullied by some people, and you're gonna, you know, have some friends that you want to sit with at lunch, and they are going to tell you, no, sorry, seat's taken, and you're gonna watch that seat sit empty for the entire lunch period and just realize that they didn't want to sit with you because you like a different boy band, because you never did anything mean to them. You know, you're not a mean person, you don't have a mean bone in your body, you don't like confrontation. You're gonna cry yourself to sleep at night sometimes because you have a hard time making friends, but Big Time Rush is always gonna be there for you. You're gonna listen to the music, and it's gonna make you feel better, and it's gonna make you feel joy and happiness. You're gonna get to go to concerts, you're gonna have a great time, and it's gonna be, you know, a source of joy for you, and you're just become more and more passionate about this thing. And then in 2013, you're going to get to meet them And that is going to change the course of your whole life. Because suddenly now these people aren't just people, you know, they're not just people on a TV screen, they're not just artists making music. You're able to be in the same room as them and have conversation with them. And that's gonna be like a little light bulb moment for you as you start to really realize, like, I shouldn't be afraid of being passionate about the stuff that I love, whether it is Big Time Rush or it's like books or movies or music or TV shows, like whatever it is that you become passionate about, you are going to become passionate about it because that thing makes you happy and because you know there's other people out there whose lives have been changed by storytelling and by media and that those stories matter. And you're going to make it your crusade to ask those important questions. Like, why does it matter? Why does Big Time Rush matter? Why does Marvel matter? Like, why do people care about these stories? What's the bigger picture? And let's have conversations about that and how those stories get made and really get to learn about all the fun stuff of what goes into producing these stories. That's, you know, going to be a light bulb moment to go into journalism. You wouldn't have had that light bulb moment if you hadn't met these 4 people, if they hadn't been as accessible to you, and if you hadn't been forced to go through that trauma of feeling alienated for loving something that you love and realizing that that's not right, and that if you're passionate about something you should take that and put that out into the world. So you're gonna go and you're gonna do that, and you're gonna go to Columbia, and it's gonna be this really great school, you're gonna meet a whole bunch of really cool people, and you're gonna have some amazing experiences. But you're only gonna get a semester and a half before you get put through a global pandemic. And a lot of people are gonna die, and it's gonna be very difficult to learn, and it's gonna be hard to feel like you're gonna be able to go out into the world and graduate and actually do your job because you're learning everything over Zoom and you're not really getting to really have a lot of applicable experience doing journalism because the entire world is shut down. There's not like necessarily a lot of news happening other than like a global pandemic. You know, you're not gonna get that hands-on experience that you would have liked, and it's gonna be very hard. But you're gonna come out of the global pandemic and you're gonna start working for your school's newspaper, and you are eventually going to get to interview someone who you've been listening to since you were 9 years old. And that dream that you've had, that goal that you've had of like, I want to interview the members of Big Time Rush, you're gonna be 1/4 of the way closer to making that happen. Like, if you had sat me down and told me that at 9 years old, I would have been like, back the fuck, like I would have been like, no way, absolutely not. Like, I don't believe you. I still don't believe you. Now that I've said all of that and have gone through that process in my brain of that life journey, it doesn't feel real. And I don't know what to do about, like, I genuinely am just speechless and I'm like at a absolute loss for words that this is where I'm at right now. So I guess, first of all, I have to say thank you to Kendall. Like, he did not have to take the time out of his day to sit down and talk to me and be as gracious as he did. Like, the interview was amazing and so much fun, and he was so sweet and lovely, and I'm never gonna forget it. Like, I will never, ever, ever forget it. I will be on my deathbed, and this will be the thing that I am thinking of like, that is the beginning, because it feels like the beginning of something. I spent so much of my life feeling like I have these dreams, these goals, these aspirations now, but am I ever actually going to accomplish them? Or is it just gonna be some dream that I hold on to that never really happened because I'm not able to make it happen? You know, all the compliments and everyone telling you, like, you know, you've got this, like, you're so good at what you do, and you feel like there's the expectations of like, well, you have to fulfill that. And what if you don't? You know, you feel like you're letting people down. This is the first time I feel like stuff is happening. Like, I'm getting to do the things that I've always wanted to do, and like my dreams are coming true. Like, it sounds so absurd and dramatic, but it's happening. And like, especially too, because one of the things that I asked Kendall was like, have you done any other press yet to promote these reunions? And by the time the story goes up, because news travels fast, and I'm gonna be writing this piece like tomorrow and trying to get it up, you know, onto the Chronicle server to be published as soon as possible, I will be like the first person who has done any actual interview with them since the announcement of the reunion happening and the dates happening in December. Like, if you had told me that too, like if you had went up to me and been like, so yeah, you're gonna get to do this interview, but there's not gonna be like a whole bunch of other press and stuff that has happened. There's gonna be dead silence, like no other interviews. You're gonna be the first one to put out any interview with any of the members at all. I would have been like, I would not have believed you. I still don't believe you. Like, I feel like the world is falling, like things are falling into place so nicely, and I feel like this is just the beginning of something really, really freaking epic. And I'm so excited about it and so excited about what's to come, and feel like my life is changing, it feels like. And it's, nothing about me has changed, I'm still the same person, but I feel like I have a real accomplishment to my name. I've accomplished a lot of stuff, but this feels real. This, like, it matters in a way that feels like nothing else does. And I just, This is like my childhood, everything I've worked for, like all the bullying and all of the feeling like I'm not enough, like I don't matter, feeling like, you know, my life doesn't matter, feeling like I'm not enough, like I'm never gonna be good enough. I feel like I'm doing something that matters. And oh my God. I'm not going to cry. I've never gotten this emotional filming a YouTube video before because I felt like I was just doing this for fun. A lot of times when I was filming videos, I just felt like an imposter. And I feel real and legitimate now. Like, it's so stupid too because I've always been doing the work, but it just feels like different this time around and I'm so excited about it. So anyway, this is the beginning of something really, really exciting. I probably am not going to be posting this until the Chronicle story goes up, so you can click the link down below and you can read the story that I wrote. I am going to see, because at the time of filming this video, I have not asked for permission of whether I can upload the actual interview to my YouTube channel yet and use that as promotion for people to go and click back to the story, which is ultimately going to be the goal, is to get as much people to go to that written story as possible and using, you know, my own personal channels and platforms for that. So we'll see what happens because I would like to share the interview in its full capacity with all of you because obviously the story is very short and there's a lot of stuff I'm not going to get to include. So stay tuned for more. This feels like it's the very beginning of something very, very epic, and I'm so grateful to Kendall for taking the time out of his day to talk with me because this has truly changed my whole life, to answer my messages, to, you know, be willing to do this because this is a dream come true, and all I want to do is just scream to the world about how much I love Big Time Rush, how much their music has changed my life, and genuinely how phenomenal of a band they are, how they make excellent music, how they just put on the best shows, and how the energy and the vibes and the enthusiasm and the passion and the energy, like it's all there. And I'm so stoked for December. We are less than 7 weeks away and I'm so excited. Like, we are this close, we're halfway there, and it's going to be, the next month's gonna be wild, and I'm so stoked because it feels like we are hitting pedal to the metal. Stuff is happening now, and I'm so excited. So I think that's it for my story time video. This was needed. I needed to get this all out, and what better way to do it than to come back to YouTube. It's been a while, but I'm here. I'm busy. I'm working 3 on-campus jobs. I'm a full-time student. I also have an organization on campus I'm leading. I'm insane. I don't know how I'm getting it all done. I have class in an hour, and yet here I am filming a YouTube video. Everything gets done, you guys. It all gets done. But hopefully I'll be back soon with another video. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you next time in a new one. Goodbye!